This is week 35 of the Music Makers at the Keyboard Book 3. Thank you for coming to the mini musical. The children have come a long ways, even this fall, in their piano journey. I would like to go over the assignment sheet and start out with the quote. I also typed on your sheet by Van Gogh. The great is a succession of little things that are brought together. I can see this relating to the way our children are learning the piano. I'm introducing them to many little units that all belong to becoming a functional musician, whether that is on the piano or in any other discipline that they're picking up in music down the road. And every little piece that we do has an important meaning. And I know that sometimes the children don't enjoy some of the exercises as much as they enjoy other things from their piano assignment sheet. And that's okay. I just want to point out that it is still really important that they always do all the things that are listed on there, like the listening games using the cards, or the improvisation, or the drumming, things that are not necessarily just playing the songs. So let's get just started with our assignment sheet. And I want to point out that I'd like them to practice a minimum of 5 days. I put down a 6th day, which they absolutely can do, or even 7. But I would like to see 5 days for sure. Let's start with improvisation 1 through 3. That's a review. I'd like them to do that so they start really remembering their chord tones in the 1 and the 5/7, and are getting really fluent in answering in the opposite chord. Answering in the same chord. I'm sorry. That's something down the line. Good. We're moving on to our scales, and we've practiced scale C, G, and D, and we know that they're the same fingering. They're not always the same tactile experience on the keys because we're adding black keys to some of them. And today we're going to learn the E major scale. So let's get started with that with our right hand. Here's my E, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. 1 chord, 5/7, 1. Notice when I do my 1 chord, I'm shifting in slightly with my whole hand unit, and even more so when I go to find the T and then the fa and the sol. Good. Same in the left hand. One chord, 5/7, 1. Then we're moving on to page 13, where we have 2 new reading pieces that are played separately with just 1 hand. Hungarian Playtune is played with the right hand, the way it's written. And I explained a few guideposts on the piano. We have found the middle C, and we discovered that the song starts on the higher C, which we call treble key C. And we're going to start playing that and adding the articulations. And then it's repeated in the second line. Now, once they've figured this out, this simple melody, they can find that same melody in a different key. For example, in the key of D. or in the key of G. Okay? They can also find it in with the left hand. So one thing, once they have figured out how to play the song, reading it as it is written, they can figure out how to arrange it, how to play it and transpose it into different keys, or even adding chords. Right? Because now they got all these little tools that we're working on all these years, all this past month, and adding it to our repertoire. Or so I'm just transposing it into the key of C using my left hand melody and my right hand chords. Moving on, French folk song, a melody played by the left hand. And we're in the key of C, so we're going and decoding everything we want. We are what is given to us. We know it's in the key of C, Do, meaning C major. It's in triple meter, 3/8. Left hand is playing, and I'm giving them the first finger on middle C. That's something I gave them. We did discover that this note is middle C, floating above the treble staff, the bass staff. So here we go. Do, dee, do, da, dee, do. There was a cross under. And do, da, dee, do, dee, do, da, dee, do. Do, da, dee, do, da, dee, do. Crossover. Da, dee, do, da, dee, do, da, dee, do, da, dee, do. French folk song. Good. Moving on, the review is Deb Gahora on page 11. And also, please review your by ear pieces. We did I See the Moon last week. We can add chords. I see the moon and the moon sees me. We're both as happy as we can be. Now I added here the 4 chord. It's also called the Amen cadence. When you go to church and you listen to a hymn at the very end, they do Amen. I talked about that with the kids in class. Or they can do, they can arrange it the way they think sounds good. Then we're going to add a new item to class this week, the duple rhythm cards with chords. Everybody had gotten these cards, and I'd like them to take them out and practice chanting them. And we were introducing the quarter rest. Now, in my studio, for the rest, we just use silence. If we do tapping or drumming, we might spread our hands like this for the rests as a quiet emphasis. So if we would chant it, we would go this. Do, day, do. Do-ta, day-ta, do, day, do. Your turn. Good. Let's do card 2. My turn. Do, do, day, do. Do, do, do. Your turn. Good. Card 3. Do, day. Do. Do, day. Do. Your turn. Okay. Card 4. Do day, do day. Do, do day, do day, do. Good. And finally, they'll get to go on page 15, and they are going to practice writing quarter rests. And for that, I want to show you, you can do a little rhyme. You go zig, zag, zig, and see. Zig, zag, zig, see. That's all what it takes. Now, to do the rest in a way that it looks like this, where they color in the fatter parts and make it look nicer. I know some children are perfectionists and they want to color it all perfectly the way they see it in notation. I'd say it's beautiful, but this will get the job done. So please don't spend any time doing it this way. Just do simple, straight lines. There, done. Okay? Thank you so much, parents, for supporting your kids, and I'll see you all next week.